Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. I want to introduce you to Maggie Carey of Master Media. I'm going to go through the bio for just a second. But before I get into the bio, I just want to talk about how I know Maggie. So we are both members of Master Networks, and we are, I'd say, one of a small group of folks that have mastered their backgrounds and their marketing. We are the few, the proud, and it's something that is something that when you go out and you're networking, and we're in this pandemic environment, and you're wanting to burn your image and your brand into the minds of the folks that you are working with, it's something to pay attention to. You'll have to understand that what we're doing now is not a Zoom call. So forgive Maggie's background, but it's normally absolutely amazing. I know she was concerned about it before we were going on, but she does absolute awesome job on the branding and her message, not only in her visuals, but also in her writing and her audio clips or sound bites that we do week to week, or something that just stands out and is a bright spot of my week every week. So it's somebody that you want to know. Thank you so much for tuning in today, whether you're catching this live or you're catching this on the recording. Appreciate you so much. Please remember to hit that subscribe button. Getting into Maggie Carey and who she is. Maggie Carey is the founder and CEO of Master Media and the editor of 5 HamletHub editions. She has a BS in computer science with over 35 years of experience in information technology, including 10 years in public relations. Maggie educates businesses on how to gain the most promotion for less time, money, and stress. Maggie crafts customized strategies that skyrocket her clients' online presence. Margaret is the 2018 Putnam Community Service Network's Lynn & Buzz Burr Excellence in Communication Award recipient. She's the area director for Armonk, Brewster, and Lower Westchester chapters of Master Networks. Margaret is the author of Secrets to Saving Money Using Public Relations. You can find her and all of her services at www.masteritmedia.com. Thanks so much for being here, Maggie. I really appreciate you coming on the show. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Cameron. It's a pleasure. Thanks for the lovely introduction.
Oh, you're very welcome. So getting right into it, I'd love for you to expand on your bio and talk to us how you got passionate about marketing and social media and doing what you're doing now. So if you could just take a couple minutes here just to really break down like where you come from in terms of your education and background and what's made you passionate about doing this and why you're passionate about working with clients on their social media and their marketing. I'd really appreciate that.
Sure. So I had my degrees in computer science. I love computers. I love working with them, but I also have a family. So when I got to a point where I had 3 kids in daycare, which I'm sure many of you can appreciate, it really wasn't worth it, even though I was making a 6-figure salary to work and pay daycare and all the other costs. So I started my own business doing computer consulting at home, and I loved it and it was great. But while I was doing that, I also volunteered for a number of community organizations. And by doing that, because of my tech background, I got thrown into PR. And I absolutely loved it because it's all about sharing positive news, which is something that I'm really passionate about, and how I delved into HamletHub, which is a positive news digital online system. All of my experience with that paired with my passion of theater. I've been acting since I was 8 years old and moved into directing and producing. And it's all about getting the word out about all of these shows and how you're presenting yourself and how you're sharing information and communicating. All of these things kind of blended together with my desperate need to help people when they're struggling. I see it so many times. When people are in pain, you want to help them. And a lot of times people are in pain because of they don't know technology, they don't know how to promote themselves, they're confused with social media. All of that comes into play with my big desire to share information with people so that they're not as stressed out as they need to be. We've got enough to worry about in life. The last thing we need to worry about is promoting our business. That's why I help people. I just, look, just give it to me. I'll deal with the headaches. I don't mind. I love working with computers. As my keyboard, if you could see my keyboard, my keys are all fading. So unless you know how to type, you wouldn't be able to use my computer. So.
Oh, wow. That's pretty, that's confidence going in blind on the keyboard. You got to know what you're doing. That's something special there. I would be in trouble.
Yeah,
as long as I've been using a computer, I would be in trouble. And I try to tell my kids, get on the typing tutor, like get those skills down. They're not listening to me, and I'm not leading by example. So it's definitely a place of improvement that I have to go as a father. I got to get on the typing tutor and learn to type and listen. Okay, I did it. Now you do it. That sort of thing, right? We gotta lead through example. Okay. Talk to me. Appreciate you giving a little bit of background, but what is it about helping people through social media? What successes have you had that have sort of helped, make this the right path for you, and why you're excited about helping people on this road, this track?
Well, I'm working with businesses and finding out who they are. It's really important that the business is expressing their individuality, because they've got to separate themselves from other businesses like them, but they have to be true to themselves. I find that most people think, well, this is what people are looking for, and they kind of go with that. But people are investing in your business. They're investing in you. If you want them to spend money on you, you have to give them valuable information. And that's where I'm seeing a lot of businesses succeeding, when they're genuine about who they are and what they do, and they're sharing their knowledge with people. That's really key. So the success is coming from getting outside of their own head, right? And just saying, this is who I am. This is my main focus. This is where we're going in to showing the people who are our potential customers the value that the business has. You have to look at your business as that answer to a problem. We hire people because they're answers to our problems, or they're a solution that we've been looking for, something to make life easy, something to make our business is going to flourish because we're helping people. And that's really where my businesses succeed. I have two right now who we're in the middle of a pandemic, guys. And I've got two people who reached out to me and said, I'm so busy, I need to hire people. Do you know anybody you can refer to me? And I'm like, sure, let's get on it and let's do that. And that to me,
I love that. And you were talking about that this morning. I just love that. That's great.
Yeah.
So talk to us. What is the most important thing businesses can do to promote themselves right now?
Right now, my big suggestion is give things away for free. I mean that intellectual property. Don't be afraid to show your expertise. You do this, Cameron. You do a great job. You're an inspiration. You're on here helping businesses grow. That is valuable. People are going to remember you, right? And I found, I started doing this. I was pushed out of my, kind of like, I don't have time for it, but I made the time to develop classes that I teach online. It became the way I grew my business. It started with only, 10 people. By the end of these workshops, I ended up running two, one for a local chamber of commerce, one on my own. Each of them had 50 followers on them. And then on top of that, I got so much business out of it. So I walk my walk, right? I'm not just telling you to do this. I'm telling you, please do this, because it'll work for you. So doing that, you're also, people are getting used to who you are, right? You can read the written word all you want, and it's great. Like, we all need websites, we all need our social media, but video and our how we speak, how we're connecting, people get to know who we are. That's really the key. So don't be like, oh, I can't give all this information away. Yes, give the information away. Let them know you know what you're talking about, and you're the person they should be hiring to help them.
What are some tools that you would suggest for folks that are, either just getting started, they don't have the budget really to do a marketing kind of thing, even maybe necessarily to, pay for some of these subscription plans and everything. I was talking to Maggie about, knowing that I need to promote myself, and I've gone on to MailChimp, and I know that you can use the free version, but I had paid for some of the bell whistles, but I still got 0 newsletters out. So it's a tool that I know that I could have used for free. Without the brand, with the branding on it, that's part of the thing with a lot of these freemium services, including Wix. And I've done things here talking about how to launch your brand for $10 or less in terms of, being able to get a website out, especially on the personal branding front, not talking about necessarily setting up a corporation or something along those lines where you're having to formalize tax things. But for $10, just getting your brand out there, getting your product out there in a very easy way, calling card kind of thing. Wix exists. What are some tools that you would suggest folks use right now to promote their brand and amplify their message?
So I'm going to give you a short answer and a little bit longer answer. The short answer is go to my website, masteritmedia.com, scroll to the bottom and go to my free business toolkit. This is another way I promote myself, right? I draw people to my website with free information, and on there it's free information about training resources. Look, YouTube is the second biggest search engine. So you can YouTube anything, right? Now, you also have the ability to do things like, yes, there's things, tools like buffer.com that will allow you to do for free a little bit of social media, helps you on that next step, but it's limited in some of the things you can do. Again, a freemium version, right? Something you can get for free. But if you want all the bells and whistles, you got to pay for it. Tools like Canva. There's Wave Video that I love that I can create videos with and, share them on social media. So these are things where you can go in and love MailChimp. Look, I've been using MailChimp for free for, 20 years. Once your database gets over 2,000, then you have to pay for it. But until then, you can use it. And I always notice a spike in my following and in my signups for my newsletters, signups for my YouTube channel, signups for anything, always after I send out a newsletter. So make sure you're doing that, using those tools. Because here's the challenge that I see a lot, Cameron. People will get the tools, then they don't use them because it takes time to learn them. We all are busy, right? Yeah, I got you. I'm there. I'm there with you. I have this YouTube, Tube Buddy that I started, and I'm trying to figure out how to use it. But when am I going to get the time? Allocate time in your day to figure out how to use the tool and then implement it right away. We get all this information. I'm sharing information with you now.
I love this. Sammy says, free information is great, but working with Maggie will pay for itself. So that's a great endorsement from Sammy Vecchioli, Sammy Sunshine. Let me go into this because I know you said there's some free resources here, so we want to make sure people know how to get to those. So this is the website Master of Media, and if you go to resources and free business toolkit, is that what you were talking about?
That's what I'm talking about. And that has a whole bunch of free training. And look, this is why I give this information away for free, so people know they can reach out to me. When I design a social media strategy or a website for people, I'm not designing a website. I'm not designing their social media. I'm helping them get the word out. It's promotion. And my tagline is, I take the commotion out of your promotion. And it's all encompassing between my theater experience, my computer background, and my public relations experience. I pull all of these things together and develop a strategy that helps the business in its entirety. I think sometimes people are focused in on one thing, and when they do that, it may not jive with the other things they're doing in their business. Like, take for example, you're doing this event, right? It's live. You're going to say, "Hey, I'm going to be live with Maggie." Okay, but how are you promoting that? You know, I shared it in my newsletter. You mentioned it in Master Networks meetings, just like I did, right? I shared it on all of my social media. Sorry, somebody in my house is using the door. Thanks. That's my son, Pete. You are live. Say hi to everybody.
No worries. So,
welcome to COVID.
Talk to us about what trends do you see with successful marketing strategies right now?
So, the trend is about, look, you got to listen to people. You've got to listen to what's going on right now. Some people are kind of avoiding issues, and some people, you know, they don't want to get into that kind of space, right? And some people are focusing in on that space because right now it really is trending. So whether you're talking about COVID, whether you're talking about social injustice, or if you're just talking about, hey, we're here to be stress relief. Okay, everybody has their piece. What I'm seeing is the people who are most successful are the ones that are entertaining, informing, and engaging. Don't just post on social media, right? You've got to post on social media. You've got to engage in other people. You know, one of the best things that you can do that is a win-win for everybody is leaving reviews for people, whether it's on Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever, because it's a benefit to the person you're reviewing. You are getting free promotion to all of their followers. And you're also, you know, it's a good thing, right? And hopefully, if I leave a review for you, you're going to go to my site and reciprocate and leave a review for me. So all of this pulled together is a great ways of kind of, I think people have a little bit more time now. They're not driving here and there. Take the time to do that. It really does benefit everybody. It's just a great.
And Glow Fabro says Maggie Carey knows her stuff. Thank you, Glow. Let me talk to this because I think it's very interesting. We're talking about trends, right? And you're going back to something that is a much older form of communication. And I love how the future blends with the past in this respect when you talk about marketing, because we have such an opportunity to hit some, you know, folks all over the globe. And I think people focus on that so much in their marketing, like, oh, you know, this is going to go all over. It can be like, you know, paralysis by analysis. I'm going to be live and everybody's going to see me. Do I want to look this way? So just being able to push the go button on stuff is just one form of how we can adapt to the new normal. But I love the fact that you went to like the thank you card and the giving the referrals and Google reviews, because that's just a newer form of an old thing, right? You know, that's word of mouth. That is pushing it forward. We're seeing that a little bit today with Sammy and Glow promoting you from the comments, which I so appreciate. It creates involvement. It cosigns, right? People know you, understand you, allows other people to have a little bit more of a view of who you are. We're seeing it on the macro in terms of going on to Amazon. And if something isn't 5-star reviewed by, you know, 200 people, 300 people, if the 3 people like it, we're not really that satisfied. And especially if there's negative reviews, like, whoa, not buying that. But if there's positive reviews, then it's going to be bought more, and it sort of feeds into itself. So going back to the thank you card, I did a BizDev Live on this just yesterday with the power of the thank you card, and writing a thank you card myself yesterday. And just talking about how that leads into the Google reviews, because these are real ways that you can actually make a difference in somebody's business. And if everybody watching this today, everybody that watches this video, if they committed to doing a Google review, LinkedIn recommendation every single day, I guarantee that comes back to you. That's going to be one review on somebody else's page every day, but that's going to mean huge, huge, huge return on relationship and return on investment for you.
Right.
And that's the micro that so many people forget in their marketing. You don't need to hire somebody necessarily to do that, although you could, and certainly should when you get to a certain level and you want to, you know, just sort of like, I love, I'm reading Michelle Obama's Becoming right now, and she talks about how Barack Obama was handling some of the stuff, and he would read 10 letters every single day in the presidency. So think about that. You know, you're carrying the nuclear football around with you, and you're making time every day with all the stuff that was going on, and you know, whether it was Black Lives Matter, whether it was natural disasters, like, you know, he dealt with that, all of that stuff in his 8 years, and he made time to read 10 letters a day from different points of view, 10 letters a day, and respond to them. And because he was so busy, he would make notes in the margin, and somebody else would take care of the actual letter because he was president of the United States. But he found a way, even with your busy schedule. So I say all that to say is that you might be busy, but you can do this, right? This is not impossible for you. This is something that you can fit into your schedule.
If anything, it's a habit, right? One of the things I wanted to just pull on what you were saying, if you don't have a Google My Business page, which is free, just go to business.google.com. You need one, okay? Because that's where people leave you reviews. You're missing out on free opportunities. I was reading a study the other day, and it was saying that now we know 40,000 Google searches are done a second, 40,000, right? So what's happening is so many businesses aren't on Google My Business. It's free. It's so valuable because you can put all your information, including your hours. They even have a COVID thing. You can put a note about how you're handling COVID. But here's the deal. Out of that, you will get views out of 167 billion searches done a month. Only 59 actions are taken because people don't have their Google My Business page set up. So businesses are losing a valuable resource. And remember, Google loves Google. And, you know, you and I are on, a coaching program. And this is one of the things that they've stressed. I help businesses get on Google. Even though it's free, they need help navigating it. But you can do this
let me just speak to that for a moment. So many people just have, you know, the tool is there. You don't even have to buy it, but you're not using it, right? So, you know, what is it worth for you if you're, because, you know, for there's certain things like finance for me and bookkeeping, like it's just a nightmare. So how much is it worth to me for somebody to take care of that, create the systems and process, and have somebody do that for me? For somebody that is challenged that way, how important is it for you to get a system and process and somebody to take care of these things for you? Glow asks, regarding Google My Business, just closed my brick and mortar office. Should I remain on here?
Good question, Glow. Actually, yes, you should, because I don't have a brick and mortar either, and I'm on Google My Business. You can select a range. You need to be very careful. One tip, do not use your P.O. box. P.O. boxes will be rejected and your account will get suspended until you can clear it up. So what you do is you have to put in your physical address, your mailing address, so they can mail you a card. So they're being very careful with Google, and they are right now running into a little bit of a lag because of COVID-19, but make sure that you select the range and post on it. Every time you post on social media, you should be posting to your Google My Business page. Don't leave it static. It's like your website. If your website is static, Google's going to say, it's the same old, right? But if you update it every once in a while, they're going to pull it in. Same with your Google My Business page. Post photos, post information, post free tips, post your articles, anything that you, like Google, people go to, you know this more frequently. It's linked to Google Maps. But if you're going to a restaurant and you have your Google app up, it'll say, oh, you're at this. How did you like it? You know, so they're helping people. They will help people review you. So it's all about that communication. Keep it open, keep it active, keep it busy. You've got to be consistent. It's like the key to anybody will tell you with social media. The key to making it successful is being consistent. Cameron, every day, right? 11 o'clock, you're here, right? You're consistent. You're sharing it. I don't know how you keep up with doing this every day. It would absolutely overwhelm many people. So kudos to you for that. But
let me just say something real quick to that, right? Because this is the secret to the game. It's not being good at it. It's not being bad at it. It's being consistent.
Right.
You can be horrible at social media, but if you're consistently horrible at social media, if you just post every single day and you're absolutely horrible, there's going to be like a million people that find you somehow, some way. This person, I love them. They're horrible on social media. It's a train wreck. I'm going to watch it. Just being consistent. So I don't worry about it too much. Some days, you know, I get to it a little bit later. I'm sitting there like, what am I going to talk when I don't have a guest? You know, what am I going to talk about? I don't freak out about it too much. I just follow the Richard Branson rule. Screw it. Just do it, because I understand that consistency is more important than quality. Now, do I care about the quality? Absolutely. I care about the quality, but the consistency is much more important than the quantity, right? If you're putting out more content.
As long as, excuse me, sorry to interrupt you there, Cameron. As long as you're keeping, and this is like Rob Genovese from My Beast brand drilling in my head. Okay. Make sure you're consistent with your branding. Make sure that you're sticking to, you know, what you're doing, because that is key. Look, my first YouTube video, and actually my subsequent, some are better than others. Look, my first Facebook Live, I must have and you knowed through about half of it. Okay. And I know better. I know better than that. However, you can't let that stop you. What am I going to do? Delete that video that got a whole bunch of likes and got shared? No, right? It's all building your following, you know?
First of all, it's real, one, right? And people appreciate authenticity. Yep. And then, you know, and I'll even push back a little bit on the branding side, because I feel like if you're waiting to brand perfectly, because, you know, I don't want to do it because I haven't gotten my backdrop perfect. I don't want to do it because I haven't figured this out perfectly.
Right.
Stop. Just do it, because I have learned so much from day one. I started doing this. So I was working on doing alumni interviews. So I have another project that I'm doing, which is called Alumni Connection. So for anybody that's has high school age, college age folks, really great interviews with folks that have gone through obviously high school and college and that whole process. And we talk about how they went into A. Philip Randolph, because it's all A. Philip Randolph alumni. But I think this is very applicable. There's definitely stories in there. There's stories in there for folks that didn't go to college right after high school and how they've adapted and dealt with those challenges. There's stories of folks that were very driven and, you know, we're driven on a path to like being a lawyer or CPA, and then they pivoted and have written a children's book. Like there's so many great stories. But I started out doing those interviews on Zoom, and I was doing like the post-production. And the reason that I'm doing this on StreamYard today is I quickly realized what works for me is that if I just record it and it's automatically out there and it's done, like I'm not going back, I'm not editing the ums and stuff out, because that was too much work and it was getting in the way of actual production of content. So I think the point that you're making there is so huge. It's just more, you know, obviously try to get the branding out, make sure that you're talking about the brand. If you can't display the brand, try to have a product to sell. I'm still working on that. Right. Exactly. You know, but just getting out there. And I started this, since you're talking about me, with the idea that I'm doing this for 365 days, no matter what, a year at least or bust, because that's the only way that I'll understand if this is making an impact or not. I know that I'm not going to do it one day and change the world, and change my world, which is, I think, where people are like, oh, I did a Twitter post today. Okay, I'm going to wait for the likes. No, it doesn't work that way. Overnight successes are not developed overnight. It takes time to build something that's really special. And yes, one thing can go viral, but then, can you build on that, and can you actually play that back to your brand?
Right.
So,
and look, you can, one of the things I help businesses identify is what are the free or low cost resources out there. Now they're there, as I mentioned, but they don't know how to leverage it. And that's where I come in. Like, I educate people on how to leverage their business and help people, right? So it's all about learning what their clients are looking for. And one of the suggestions, here's a great tip for anybody who's struggling with their social media and not knowing what to post. Like, I do things like I'll send out at the beginning of the month, like a list of hashtags, and that'll give you like some ideas to spark something, like Father's Day is coming up. You should do a post on Father's Day, not promoting your business, just saying, hey, happy Father's Day to all the dads out there, but when you're getting calls or emails or Facebook messages, whatever, about your business, and people are asking you questions, log those questions down. I don't care whether you use quill pen and parchment or an Excel spreadsheet, but keep track of the questions people ask you and who asks them as well, because this will help you with this is something you can use for a social media post. If somebody says to you, Cameron, how can I carry 8 plates at once?
Right.
Okay.
Now, I'm gonna go grab my plates now. Now you're gonna get me on that trip.
I'm sorry. That's where we're, that's a great thing. People are telling you what they want. They're telling you what they want. Listen to them. Your clients, look, it costs more to get a new client than it does to keep your current clients happy. That's why I'm going to be on you now about doing a MailChimp. So in the next week, you're going to do a MailChimp newsletter, and I'm going to be on it. And I want to get your newsletter. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be. Always make sure you have a strong call to action. Like, for example, my strong call to action today is going to be, hey guys, can you please go to my YouTube channel and follow me? Go to my website, sign up for my newsletter so I can keep you informed. All of these things. If you don't have a CRM system, you don't need it. You don't need it right now if you're small and you're just starting. Okay, great. You know what? Start an Excel spreadsheet. First name, last name, email address, business, comments, put their kids down, whatever. When you get your CRM system, you can easily import it into whatever platform you're using. I have to tell you, I didn't have a CRM system. And when I first started out, my clients fell through the cracks. I had people asking for proposals. Look, I've made mistakes. I'm not saying I'm perfect. But what I did was I learned from the mistake, and I've implemented a CRM system in my business, and it has definitely made a change. My newsletter list went up. My reads went up. My clients are using a similar format to what I'm doing. Like I said, 2 of them are already, trying to hire people because they've got so much business. One is booking out to the end of, I think they're now in the mid-July. And it was funny because I said, well, we're doing this. Did you want to pause your social media? Sort of like, no, you don't. But you kind of have to say, look, you've got to keep the client rolling. You got to hire more people. Don't just turn it away or raise your prices. If you're that busy, then, look, a wise man told me, do you want 1 client at $1,000 or 10 clients at $100? people are going to pay for your services. And I think you've got like Glow, when I first joined Master Networks, it was on a totally different business. And I met with Glow, and she told me, you got to start saying no to people. I was volunteering my time left and right. And that volunteer time was very important to me, and it was wonderful, but it was time for me to move on. And if I wanted to put food on my table, I had to start getting going on my business. And I've also added people to my staff. Like, it's not just me doing all the work. It's hiring people and teaching them my method and making them do the stuff. Why am I bill out, and this is the thing, oh my gosh, it goes both ways, not just for me. Like, why am I doing something that I can hire somebody at $20 an hour to do? Right. That's number one. But take it from the business perspective. If a lawyer is billing out at $300 a month and doing his own $300 an hour, and he's doing his own social media, what the heck? Why? You should just hire me and let me do it for you. That's the thing that I see people doing. They're saying, well, I can handle social media on my own. Yeah, you can, but consistent? Are your graphics good? Are you telling people what's going on? Like I nitpick.
So let me ask you a question on this, because I see so many people do this. You have a website, right? So you've bought a website, you have a domain name, and you're dropping your information to me, whether it's in a Master Networks meeting or some other way, and you have a Gmail address, mastermedia@gmail.com, that sort of thing, right? What do you think about that?
I strongly discourage it. Look, you need a Gmail account for your business. And I have Master Media LLC at gmail.com.
I use Gmail, right? I use Gmail. When you send something to Cameron at totheventstaffing.com.
Right. It goes
it's,
right.
It's a Gmail. But what I'm talking about is I bought a domain.
Oh yeah. Right? No, you need your domain name. People will perceive you as a hobby if you have a Gmail account. They will not see you as a business. And when somebody remember, they're investing in you. Think about it from your perspective. Are you going to hire somebody to do your social media or to do your event planning? If they're sending you an email from a Gmail account, now it can be G Suite, very reasonable, like $6 a month, right? For your own email. Get it, do it. It's worth it.
And when I did it was free. I don't know, maybe there's a cost to it now, but I thought you could go in and do it for free. So I'm like super critical when I see somebody that just like they have a domain, but they're still using their business name at gmail.com, because I thought it was free. Is there a cost to do it now?
I thought it was $6 a month, but again, that could be like a premium kind of thing, where you, that could be the paid version versus the free version.
Now I got to go and look at it, but it's like one of those things.
Now I'm going to go look at it. Look, and it changed. Look, technology changes. I've been doing this for 35 years. I was programming on punch cards, people. Let me tell you, it has. My kids have no idea what it was like to wait for Saturday morning for cartoons to show up, okay? Technology has changed, and we have to evolve with it, or our businesses will fail. I have people who tell me, I'm not going on Instagram. I don't need the millennial age. I'm like, are you kidding me? They're your future clients. Yes, you do need to be on Instagram. If I were to say, get on your social media platforms, Google My Business is number one. And that's the one that people don't do. Facebook and Instagram are really critical for businesses. You have to have a presence, even because you mentioned earlier, Cameron, about how businesses are. Oh gosh, I'm sorry, I just lost my train of thought. It was really valuable too, and you had mentioned something about the social media aspect of being consistent. I don't know. We'll keep talking, and hopefully it'll come back to me. Word of mouth. It was word of mouth. Really important. Okay. I guarantee you, anybody on this page that's listening, if you could drop in the chat how many, what percentage of your business comes from word of mouth or referrals, I guarantee it's probably over 70%, and I'm probably light on that, okay? But here's the thing. When somebody tells me, hey, Maggie, you need to go and, to, this store here, they have the best widgets, okay? The first thing I'm going to do, now maybe I'm a techie, so I do this, but the first thing I do is I look them up on social media. I look them up for their website. If I don't find them, that's a big problem. If I find them and they don't have any reviews, that's another problem. Okay. So these are things that even though you get your business from word of mouth, you have to have the support of everything else that's out there. And I cannot stress this enough. And it's the reason, getting back to your original question to me, which was, why do you do this? It's like, businesses don't realize the value, the money that they are losing if they don't have a strong online presence. Yeah. Cameron, 90%. I don't doubt it. But that's the thing. When they look you up, they're going to find your Facebook Live all over the place. I had a client who, when you did a Google search for them, they came up with my HamletHub article before their website. That's horrible. That's your SEO is not set up right.
Well, it says, reviewing my book of business for 2019, over 50% of my clients were referrals from master networks. So the power of networking and association there.
Right. And, look, we've spent a lot of time talking about social media. I'm just going to go through a real quick list of things that I want to make sure that we've covered today to help your people. Make sure you listen to your clients and answer their questions. Post consistently on social media. Share information. Explain, and promote your expertise. Okay. Don't brag about it, but help people, right? Start doing video, follow Cameron's lead and go live, or record the video if you feel more comfortable. If you don't, I know people are a little hesitant about being online. I had to get my hair, all coiffed today and everything. However, if you just do a screenshot, right? Yeah, there you go. And that's the thing, people are investing in your business. So make sure they get to know you and who you are. It will come back to you tenfold. What we're doing today, Cameron, we're partnering. We're two businesses partnering together. We're leveraging on each other's audience. And I'm sharing information with my audience about you. You're sharing information to your audience about me. It's online.
You're giving away all the secrets.
I am. That's what I do. And of course, join a networking group is my last bit. Okay. Please make sure that you consider looking at master networks as an option for you. I'm an area director there. I totally support that. Look, I am an area director because I feel it's vital for people to get the most out of their membership. Again, that minimal fee that I pay every month, that actually I get back because of the referral reward. So they're actually paying me to network, and anybody can do that. You don't have to be an area director. It has come back to me tenfold. I have found I am a resource for so many people, and so many people are a resource to me. I can refer clients of mine to trusted colleagues that I've met in master networks. These are the things that I think people lose sight of. It's not about pushing your information out. It's about listening and learning from everyone that's in your circle, and getting learning from that. Master at Media came out of the fact that people were saying, "Oh, wait, you know how to do websites?" I'm like, "Yeah, I know how to do websites." "Oh, wait, you know how to do social media?" I'm like, "Yeah, I know how to do social media." But I was losing an opportunity. And I decided I'm going to listen to these people. They are telling me, every meeting I go to, I'm hearing, "Oh my gosh, I can't stand posting on Facebook. Time to get onto Instagram. What stories? What's the I'm like, this is chaos. They're dealing with commotion. How do you, when you're looking at a website, and I give this as homework. I love giving homework. I don't know. I guess it's when I was an acting teacher. I kind of, keep doing it. But I encourage you to go out and look at social media and scroll through Facebook and look at Instagram. What makes you stop? What makes you stop, look, and listen to what somebody is saying? And then decide how you can fit that into your business. So, look yourself as a customer and get feedback from your clients. Do polls, do surveys you could do a poll on Facebook, right? It's all about engagement. And I can't say it enough. Entertain your people. Every once in a while, post a joke, make it like I had one, that was very cheesy and I posted it. So you have to go to my Instagram and you've got to find the joke because I'm not going to tell you what it was. See, that's another way to promote yourself.
That's great.
I'm shameless when it comes to this.
No, it's amazing. And one of the things that I really appreciated that you were talking about, is this, man, and talk about train of thought. Now you passed it on to me, so I was right there. But I just threw a book recommendation into the chat, Exploiting Chaos. And while we're talking about books, so after I talk about this, so I was showing this picture of relentlessly obsess about your story, right? So this thing, just now I have it. So you were talking about, in terms of your messaging and your branding. So we're talking about the micro and the macro. So on the small scale, like being inside, like a networking meeting, it's you personally. And then you have the macro, like, you're promoting to social media. Mm-hmm. This idea of looking at your message, looking at what other people are doing that you actually consume and that you like. I feel like so many people put out content that they would not consume in a million years, that they would completely turn the page on. And so they don't let their own knowledge and expertise inform their message. It's very similar to being in a meeting and somebody puts up the PowerPoint on the screen and you're immediately taken aback because there's more than 6 words on a line and more than 6 lines on a page. They're not following the PowerPoint rules that have been clearly laid down for a long, long time. But that same person that is turned off in that meeting, when they put their PowerPoint together and they go to do their presentation, what are they doing? Same BS, right? So taking a moment to say, we would not consume media this way. We would not consume content this way. Why are we putting it out there? And that's not to go back what I said earlier about, doing something that isn't as sharp as you want it. That's how you get there. That's how you get sharp. That's how you put it out there. Listening, like you're talking about, what are the questions that people are asking, right? So that, because I love that. And while you were going through, I'm like taking notes and I'm ready to do my LinkedIn article, right? Based on our conversation, because these are nuggets and this is information that I can put out there and I can propel both my brand and your brand forward.
So, and here's a great tip for you. Okay. So you're going to be doing an article, right? You're going to share it on LinkedIn. Okay. Make sure that can be now, don't put the whole article in MailChimp. Do a teaser, right? Yes. Do a teaser with in your MailChimp and then link it to wherever you want, whether it's your website's blog post. Now, okay, I'm going to take it even a step further. Okay. You've written this article that probably has, let's say, 10 nuggets of information, right? Well, each of those 10 nuggets can be a social media post. Now you've got 10 posts for the day. And this is one of the things, when I mention consistency, you really should be publishing at minimum 3 times a week. Now, and look, I had challenges with doing that on my own business. Now I've got a process in place, the Master Media Social Media Marketing Plan, where you get it and, and everything is done. And coming from somebody, look, I am telling you, I understand. I did more posts in April of 2020 than I did in the entirety of 2019 because I fine-tuned a method. And that's the thing that I think people forget about. It's, I could spend hours. It takes, I don't know, how long does it take you to post on 5 platforms, would you think? Maybe same post tweaked a little bit, but 5 posts.
So me or people in general?
You. I'm asking you.
So I have mastered TikTok. And I say that having not a lot of followers on TikTok, but as a media production tool. So, and this is just a case in point, and I'm going to promote TikTok and everyone's usage of TikTok just for a moment. Every single person, and I'll count you among these people, Maggie. If you're not, are you on TikTok, Maggie?
I signed up for an account and I haven't done it, but I got to tell you, I went to a Yorktown Chamber event before this whole thing happened. There were thousands of people at this event. There were these young people who were apparently TikTok famous. TikToker, I don't know what they're called, but they
listen. I have a high school friend that during COVID, beginning of COVID, not like 10,000 people on her TikTok. Now, literally 30,000 people following her on TikTok. Now, whether that matters to you or not, I don't care. This is the thing. This is the reason that you watching this right now, I beg you, for yourself, for your personal brand, and for your business, if you represent a business aside from your personal brand,
yes,
you need to get comfortable with the technology tools. So whether you're creating a newsletter like Maggie is going to push me and hold me accountable to get out, you need content. And video is the most attractive form of content. How do you know this? What are you paying attention to? What are you watching when you go to social media? What is being played on the nightly news, right? You go to the nightly news. What are they playing? They're playing video clips. How are those video clips created? Guess what? The video clips that would have cost thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars to do. Labeling, little gifts going on while it's going on, sound effects in the back, music, all of that is possible with this little device in your hand. You can create a commercial for your business. I challenge you. You do it right now. Turn me off and get on TikTok. It will make you money. You go on there, you hold yourself, you do your 30-second soundbite. We got a lot of master networks people here, right? Do your 30-second soundbite, do your elevator pitch into the camera, use your video, transfer that. Now, the beautiful thing about TikTok is it won't accept any video longer than 60 seconds. So it's 15 seconds or 60 seconds. Put that onto TikTok and then search in the gifts thing. There's like a way to add things. Get familiar with this. You can create an advertisement for your business right now. And then once you're done with that, you can post it on TikTok. But the beautiful thing about TikTok is that you can automatically post that to Instagram stories, which then automatically goes to Facebook stories. So with one app, you have created within just a matter of minutes something that, and depending on how good, it could literally be, a couple minutes, something that you can post on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook stories. That video saves to my phone. I can then post it to LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
I can then take that and put it on my website, and then I can take it and email it in my newsletter to whoever. It's just a media creation tool, whether you care about TikTok or not. It is a media creation tool. And I got so enamored with this because I saw my daughter. We're over in Kensico Park, and they're, and we've been following, and my daughter was doing dances. This is what 13-year-old girls do. She's dancing on TikTok. She's doing this thing. I don't know what that is, but they're doing it, right? She started doing a sibling check, right? So you can go on my daughter's TikTok. You can find me. And if you find me, Cameron Toth 1 on TikTok, you can find her. But she was directing a music video with her brothers in the park. And I'm looking at this, and I wasn't, I was like helping, like keeping the 3-year-old busy and whatnot while this is going on. But literally, she was directing a music video. My 13-year-old daughter was directing a music video. You saw her. Okay, you're going to jump in here. You're going to say this line. Can you remember your lines? You got the theater background. You know that this is not an easy thing to do, Maggie. My daughter,
I'm impressed.
My daughter was directing a music video. I don't know how to say this in a way where I'm like going to emotionally connect and get everybody to really just like get on this. It is the most powerful thing that I've ever seen. In your hands, you have a video production tool. You can create a commercial for your business right now. And Glow is saying, what's the audience age range for TikTok? And I'm saying, Glow, it doesn't matter whether you post on TikTok or not. And the age range, like always, it starts young. Facebook started young. And what is it now? It's like 40 to, it's for old. Facebook is for old people. It's not for young people. They're like, Facebook, and I think somebody was saying the other day, Instagram is where like you go to get judged. Like TikTok's where you go to be yourself. TikTok's going to be that in like 5 years or less, right? It's going to be TikTok's the place where you go to get judged.
There'll be something else.
Exilia is where you go to like be yourself, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, technology is advancing so fast. You got to use this technology. You got to get comfortable with it, because if you came late to Facebook, you're not getting the same benefits from Facebook that the early adapters are. If you came early to Gmail and got your name, if you got early to the internet and you captured your domain name, you're there, right? This is the thing. This is where the opportunity is. Stay in it, get in it, and promote yourself. Sorry to sort of take over that aspect of this.
I'm so glad you did, because here's the thing. Like, this is what I do right now. I focus on more businesses. So I focus on the big ones that businesses use, Google My Business, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, right? So those are the key 5. However,
just to put a pin in it, I want to go back to Google My Business. We got some time here. We don't have to end exactly at 12. We can keep it going, but I'll put a pin into it just along the lines of photos for Google My Business. So talking about the power of photos on Google My Business, but we'll put a pin on that and let you keep going.
Okay. But I lost my train of thought. Okay. So, no, I got it. Okay. So I got so much going on in my head. So the thing that you have to remember is things are always changing. So I'm focusing on those 5, but if I'm working with a youth theater company, right? TikTok, let's get on it. Let's learn how to do it. Let's do it together. Don't be afraid of the new technology. It's the biggest thing that I want to encourage people to embrace it and at least educate yourself on it. Visit it, see what it's like. But my thing is, if it's for free, why aren't you on it? It's free. Get it. Get an account. Get your name. Then post on it a couple of times. One of the biggest mistakes I see businesses do is they'll start a page, whatever it is, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, I don't care, whatever it is. Okay. And then they say, oh, go to my page, but there's nothing there. Like there's nothing there. Get those photos up there. Get those pictures up there. Get the content up there. Put your value on your page. Set it up. Make it solid. Get family and friends to like it first, because look, nobody's going to go. They're going to go to your page and there's 10 followers and they're going to be like, well.
So let's talk about real quickly, because I know there's going to be people that got to jump off. It's 11:59. We can stay on, but I know there's some people that got to go. What is the strategy for being consistent on social media?
Okay. The strategy is you've got to plan out your month. Do a month, a week, whatever you want to do. I suggest a month. It's pretty standard. Most people in the industry that are strategists with social media suggest doing a month, because you want to have different things. You don't want to have 3 things in a row that are quotes, and then have something that's a sales pitch, and then have or maybe 3 sales pitches. You've got to kind of design your social media with the client in mind and also what you're providing. So look at your month in advance, no more, I would say no less than 2 weeks. And the reason I say that is, so say we're coming up to mid-June, right? You should be working on your July right now, and get a calendar. Like, I have a free calendar. If anybody wants to email me at maggie@masteritmedia.com, I will send you a free calendar that you can start populating your content on, and plan it. Take 3 hours out of your month to plan your social media. Then it's a copy and paste right into your social media. If you do
and to that point, like if you get into some of these free programs like Later, which is the #1 spot for posting on Instagram, and it also posts to some other services, but they give you a month of posts for free. So they do 30 days for free. If you want to post beyond that, you have to do the paid service, but you can do 30 days, and that has a calendar thing. You can put the photos into it. I think they even incorporate video into it now. So you can do literally 30 posts on there, and it will post automatically for free over the course of a month. So people can do this themselves. I know a lot of people won't, like most things. So that's why they're going to call you.
Yeah, that's it. They'll say, "Oh, this is great, right? This tool will do it." It's not the tool, it's the person. I often have businesses who have they'll assign their office admin to do their social media, who is not a social media expert. They're trying to do the best they can, but then the phone rings and then they give, "Oh, we got this big project you got to work. Oh, wait, it's COVID-19. We have to do this whole cleaning thing that's going to take us an hour every morning," right? What happens to the social media? It's not the tool, it's the people. And, Later is cool, but if I'm not mistaken, like it doesn't post automatically to like Google My Business.
Right, exactly. Yeah, there's going to be things that it doesn't work with. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. But it's better than nothing, right? Like I have clients and prospects who come to me all the time and like, "Oh, I really need you, but right now it's not in my budget." And I get that, but do this for now until your business is so successful. I also say to them, I'm like, "Well, you hire me for 3 months and let me prove to you what I can do, and then decide whether it works or not for you, because you'll be making more money because you hired me to promote yourself." That's the key, right? It's sometimes you have to invest. Like I invest in business coaching. I invest in products that help my life be easier. I invest in things that help me with my health. Like these are things that you need to do for your business. What are you doing in your business that may not be as much of a priority, that you can cut back on so that you can pay somebody to do something that you either don't know how to do, don't want to do, or can't do it well enough. Like we all hire experts. Like I'm not going to, if I need surgery, I'm not going to be going, "Well, how much do you charge? And how much do you charge?" Right? What am I doing? I'm saying, who is the best person who can do this surgery? Right? And that's what you need to do with every single business decision you make. Who is the best person that's going to help me with my printing? Who is the best person that can help me with I don't care what it is, my telephone, my cable, whatever expense you have. Look at your employees. You're going to hire somebody who's not going to be the cheapest person. You're going to hire somebody who's the best person for the job. So this all comes down to,
and that's one of the common mistakes that people will make when they're not, then they don't have that experience and haven't been through it before, because sometimes people do hire the lowest cost option and then they get exactly what they pay for. So understanding that, I think especially for folks that have products and services that, there is a destination, there is a website where you can go and pay for that service, or there's a true lead in funnel. I had talked to you before this, when you talk about cost of acquisition, like where are you driving now? What are you doing right now to get that person into your business? So what's your cost of acquisition? What is your current cost to actually acquire a client? And then looking at the lifetime value of each of those clients, what is the value that an individual client can bring? And then, I love, shout out to Rob Genovese with, going through the marketing and branding, understanding your message. So one of the things that I've really talked about in building up the process for marketing my business and advising other folks on marketing their businesses, what is your brand? So you were talked about this before. Are you on brand, right? And in your marketing and what you're doing, so whether it's driving to a meeting or putting something out in social media, are you on brand? Is that the lowest cost or lowest effort to get that client on board, and then what are you doing with that client after you've pulled them in? So now they're set up for a face-to-face. Now they're set up for that initial job. There's some sort of transaction taking place. How are you continuing to bring value to them? Because the lifetime value of that client could be huge,
right?
And really,
and all the people they bring to you, right? They were, it's setting up a referral program in a business is amazing. You have a client, yeah, I partnered. So here was one of the things I worked with a client. I'll give you a real story. So I had a client who had a spa. They just bought it. They've had it for 3 years, but the business was a 17-year-old business. So they had all of these people on their database, right? But they had a very limited marketing budget. So my thing to them was, well, do a referral program. Have postcards, old school, right? Have postcards made. Send them to your clients. Tell them for every person they refer in that purchases a package of $50 or more, they get, they will receive a $25 gift certificate. Yeah, you're cutting your thing in half, but you're getting somebody in the door. And they're getting, hopefully, somebody to come in to try their services that will, again, be there. Now, I took it a step further. I said, there's somebody who does these beautiful gift baskets. Contact them and tell them, hey, I want to put this on in a prominently displayed in my spa with your business cards. And I'm going to give this away to any client who brings me the most referrals in whatever a 2-month period. Okay. Now that basket's out there. The person who donated a very nice basket because they want to show their high priced item. So they got a $150 basket for free. The person who gave them the basket got free promotion because their business cards were there and people were like, oh, Mother's Day is coming up. I need to get a basket for somebody, whatever it was. And then the person got, everybody wanted to win the basket, right? It was all about, so, you had Sammy who would be all over that, right? Like,
yes, loves competitions. Right? Yes.
There's a competition. And
absolutely.
Even if you don't get a client in the door, people are going, you have to make it valuable enough for people to do it. If you're just giving them $5 off, nobody's going to promote it, right? It's got to be valuable. So that $25 gift certificate was of value for somebody to bring them in. Some people will also give the person a discount, like sign a, special new member, or new client special. So you get them in the door, because once they get in the door, they're going to love you. So you just got to get them to walk in. So sometimes I
love that. And I think there's different competitions for different people, because I know there's certain things that would appeal to maybe Sammy that wouldn't appeal to me. So for me, anytime somebody tells me, oh, fill out a survey and you're going to get, first of all, it's not a competition, so that might not appeal to Sammy either. But somebody sends me a survey and says, fill out the survey for $5. First of all, my time's worth more than $5. Or I love be entered in to win a $25 or $100. And I'm like, you know what? If I'm not guaranteed to get something out of this, I'm not doing a lottery ticket with my time. Now, I understand the financial advice. If I go put $1 on a lottery ticket, I am 9 million to 1 or whatever, 300 million to 1 wasting my dollar, which like absolutely almost positively enormously guaranteed to be wasting my dollar, where I could put that money into something and invest it and actually make money off of it. So for I think folks that want to incorporate this into their newsletter and their social media, give something away. So like the ebook, right? So I'm going to give you a whole bunch of strategies to do your 30-day social media thing. Here's an eBay. Go to Fiverr.com. You have the information. Go to Fiverr.com. Spend probably like $25 or less. Have somebody make this beautiful ebook. And the theme song for today's show, I did on Fiverr with a client. I talked about this multiple times, and I'm going to go do other things on Fiverr. So I'll be talking about that. But creating logos from low res images for my client, went to Fiverr, got an immense amount of files just in terms of value and what you're able to do for your own brand. So if you don't have a logo, if you don't have an ebook, these are things that people will pay for or trade their email address for. Lead generation tools. You get in with Maggie, you got a product to sell, you got something beautiful, she's going to market it for you, and you can actually take your brand from something that wasn't selling something before to selling something now, pulling in the lead generation, creating reasons for people to interact with your brand. I love that, because you could do the beautiful product from the company that you partner with, whether it's a basket or a set of golf clubs, because if there's something that's interesting to your folks, and you know that you got the audience, so that goes back to the consistency thing. What are you doing to build the audience? Because a lot of these opportunities start popping up a lot more once you have that audience.
And you're also gaining, look, you want to partner with those people that have your target audience. So the gift basket, which really targeted women, probably 35, 40 plus, and the spa, which also is targeted the same demographic, like genius, right? It's something so simple, but people are so busy working on their businesses and in their businesses, right, that sometimes they need that third party view, that bird's eye view, and looking all over and saying, okay, but you have a strong database. Why aren't people coming? Why aren't people coming in the door? What's that problem? Let's fix it. Let's see what happens. When people come in, give them, look, the new generation is coming in. It's about experience. Okay. They will pay more for a product that they love the experience of. Or, why do people buy Starbucks? Why do people, right? Why am I paying $5 for a cup of coffee when I can go and get a cup of coffee for $1.50 or make it for myself for 30 cents? Why? And that's the thing. The new generation realizes the value of connection. And we need to stop the old sales pitching, like, come to my store, because, remember somebody the other day on Master Networks was talking about Crazy Eddie. I don't know if people remember him, and he's, yeah. People don't go for that anymore. They see through it in a half a second. They see you're pitching them. Give them that's getting back to that whole thing in the beginning.
Yeah, providing value.
Give them value.
Giving value. Tell me why this is important to me, and me in particular, right? Like, why for me? All right. Don't tell me why everybody's going to like this. Tell me why I'm going to like this, and have that pitch to that ideal customer. I think so many people are stuck in, I heard what you were saying on price and being able to, raise your price. If you're pitching to your ideal customer, what's your ideal customer? They have the budget. They have the case scenario where they actually want your product and are willing to pay for it. Talk to that person. If somebody else buys it, great, but that's the people that you're talking to within that framework, within that age group, within that category. Speak to them, and they will come in through your door. If you focus on your clientele, they will come to you. And then listening, right? And I think that's one of the most wonderful things about social media, and this is why social media turns a lot of people off, because so many brands are about amplified message without the listening part. But the big opportunity in social media, and probably one of the reasons that somebody can really benefit from your services, is you're going to be an advocate for their brand as a partner. And when somebody talks about something on social media, because your job is engagement, your job is really attaching the ROI to what they're doing. So for somebody that's busy and doesn't necessarily have the attention span and the ability to jump into all the social media, when that person asks that question, and I get it all the time, and it bugs the hell out of me. I'm just full 100% honesty. The fact that a client is going to text me rather than email me, which is my preferred way to get it. Or they're going to send me a message on Facebook that I feel like I'm going to lose, but that is their desired channel, and they're the client. So either close down Facebook or take full advantage of it and listen and understand your clients better. I want to give you an opportunity to really talk to your ideal customers and partners, Maggie, and sort of close us out here. Can you talk to folks in terms of who is your ideal client, who is the person that really needs to be working with you, and how do they get in touch with you? How do they utilize your services?
So the ideal client for me is someone who needs to understand how they can leverage their social media and their online presence. This is somebody, it may be somebody new who's coming in. I help clients that are new to business and need that kind of setup, everything from soup to nuts. But I also love the business that's been around for 3 or 4 years that has, over three employees. They're busy. They have a lot of information to get out, and they don't know how to get it out. One of the things I always say is, you ever hear somebody saying, I don't have any time. I don't have time for this. I'm so busy. I don't know what to do. They're like so tense and so frustrated. They want to throw their computer out the window. Have them give me a call. Anybody who needs to be dealt with patience and understanding is an ideal client for me. Somebody who does not want to be sold a bill of goods. Like, I'm helping them get over the hump. It's like that, take the commotion out of your promotion is to my soul. This is, so that person who's, making, their business is making over 100K a year and they need to make 500K a year. Like,
let me, we're talking about some real dollars and cents here, which I always appreciate. What sort of budget, obviously everybody understands, like, pay for me for 3 months, but this also depends on people's business model. If your business model sucks and what you're selling is costing you money, and I've definitely been that business where I realized, like, I was sending staff out, and really at the end of the day, I was paying to send those staff out because I was not charging enough for what we were doing.
Right.
All that aside, somebody has a marketing budget, which, if you're a company, if you're a business, even for your personal brand, you should start thinking about a personal branding budget and a business marketing budget, right? Ideally, what kind of marketing budget should a company have when they're having a conversation with you about taking on your services?
Look, I have do-it-yourself tools that start at $200 a month. My packages range up to over $1,000 a month, depending on how much and how little people want to do. I work with them to find the tools that will fit their budget. I have clients who I help with the getting started at that lower level that gets them over the hump until they're ready. My thing is, if they follow my advice, they're going to be able to go to the bigger tiers because they'll see now they're so busy, they don't have the time to do all the content and all the work. So I work with clients that way at minimum. And remember, keep thinking about how much money, even if you have an admin do it, if they're doing your data, your social media posts, I'm just picking social media for now, but if they're doing your social media, you're pulling them away from other money earning activities, like calling up clients, like doing things, doing the books, like analyzing your numbers. Oh, and that's another thing. With my services, I also do analytics for you. So you can see what's popular in your social media so that now you can say, oh, how some people, they just send out stuff. They send out their newsletters, they post on social media, and then they leave it. They don't look at it. That's the huge mistake. You have to see what's popular. One of the most popular things I see, of course, video. Like, people, even if it's bad video, we were talking about this. Like, I had somebody, they had their camera and they're taking their video and they're going like this, and I'm getting dizzy. But you know what? It got the most views. You wouldn't believe it, right? And then on top of that, right, I did a post. It was a customer of the month. I will do a customer of the month every month because those posts garner me more exposure. So these are the things that, like I keep telling people, I've learned so much about how to promote people and how to get them. You don't have to learn what I know. You just, just hire the right people and get them to help you, get, like I say, skyrocket your business. You're just not gonna improve your business. You're gonna skyrocket it. You're gonna go from 0 to 60. Like, this is what, and it's so I'm so passionate about this, and I hope I'm not yelling at people because I feel like I'm like,
no, you're doing good. You're doing good. I got you in the headphones and I'm okay.
But it's about helping businesses grow and helping people find you that need your services. There are people out there, like I remember when my husband and I were first married, I didn't know diddly about a mortgage. I didn't know anything about how, oh, wait, I need homeowners insurance. I was young, I was stupid. That's the way it is. If you don't know something, you feel like, oh my gosh, I am terrible, right? Like this is terrible. There's no judgment with what I do. I tell people, it's okay. You don't know what Google My Business is? That's fine. That's why I'm here. Let me help you, right? And this is the same with other people that need your services. Whatever your services are, it doesn't matter. People need them, or people need your products. How are you helping? Like Glow does essential oils, right? Like those essential oils are going to speak to a certain person. And they may really need that to improve their health, their immune system, whatever it is, right? So to facilitate that is really critical. And you cannot live in a bubble. You have to be everywhere. And I hate to say it like that. You just can't post on Facebook. You just can't do social media. You just can't have a website. You need to be in person. You need to be in the newspaper. You need to be on social media. You need to have a solid website. You need to be communicating with people on the phone. You need to be doing video. Like that's an awful lot. So when you're talking about
let me add to that, because I'm right with you on that, because I think people don't understand. Because you're saying you need to be, and let me just talk about why you need to be. Because listen, do you have political aspirations? Do you want to make change happen in this world? Do you want your business to grow? Do you want to be an inspiring leader? Do you want to be a thought leader within the education industry, within the university system? Do you want your product to sell, whatever that product is? Do you want your to be respected within your space? How do you get there? How do you sell that book? How do you sell that channel? How do you sell that whatever, whether it's a widget or it's you? Being comfortable with media, being comfortable with your brand, being comfortable. I see it, and I know you see it every day, Maggie, even in sound bites in our networking groups. You ask somebody what they do, and the lack of confidence and the lack of ability to tell their own story sometimes is, you just want to reach out and hug somebody, because because especially if you've developed relationships with people, and we have, that their product is amazing, that they're amazing, that they do amazing things, that they're inspiring, that their book needs to be written. People are waiting to hear what you have to say. What's something, I'm talking to anybody watching this, you're special. You really have something amazing of value. And if you're not promoting it and putting it out into the world, you're missing an opportunity to have a little bit more confidence in yourself. But two, there's somebody that really needs what you offer. There's something that really needs to hear what you have to say. And by you not saying it,
right.
We're missing out.
They owe it to people to share. Yeah. Like I always, I have one of my daughters has an amazing, beautiful voice. And I tell her, I'm like, you cannot keep this to yourself. This is a gift you have been given. You need to share it. It's the same with any business. We all want to make money. We all need to put food on our table. We all need to support our lifestyle and our families. Okay. And I get that. But when it comes down to it, it's about helping other people and getting them over the challenges that they're faced with. I've gotten some backlash. I'm like, well, how can you do business in this? How can you justify doing this? And I'm like, very simply, there are people who need my clients' help. So if I wasn't there for them, how would people find them? Right. So it's more like, and honestly, you go, thank God nobody filmed my first soundbite with Master Networks. It was horrid. It was horrid. I don't even remember what I said, but I went way over my 1 minute and I didn't have any focus, no call to action.
Screw it, just do it and you get better. Absolutely.
And and that's the thing. If if there are people who out there who have new businesses or they're new, they're thinking about a new business, Master Networks really can help them because of the educational component, right? Now, look, I'm a member of Master Networks. I'm a member of Chambers. I'm a member of the Professional Women of Westchester and Putnam. I network. I'm, LinkedIn Local, which is going on with Pasquale and Christine.
Shout out to Pasquale, yeah.
Yep. You guys we all have these resources that are out there, and we need to leverage them. Now, granted, this can get overwhelming, but getting back to your people aren't in one place, and you shouldn't be either. The thing about social media is, like somebody said, well, if I post one post on 3 different platforms, isn't that kind of redundant? And I'm like, no, because have you looked at algorithms lately? That first of all, they change every, I don't know, I can't even, every time I turn around, oh, Facebook's got a new algorithm, Instagram's got a new algorithm. Just be consistent, right?
Yeah, let me say one thing to that, because I think that's so important. You can repost your stuff as well on different platforms, on the same platform. Because I guarantee you, as much as we're saying people need to hear your stuff, people aren't hearing your stuff even when you post, right? Like, everybody thinks about themselves, everybody thinks about their channel, but you're not seeing everything from everybody. Your attention is limited. Same thing with everybody else. Right. If you want your stuff to get out and see, if it provides value, there's no problem with reposting that content. It's the same thing, like, posting, my daughter from 5 years ago, we got a photo together. We share it because it's a memory on Facebook, and my network goes crazy, and there's 100 people that viewed it and liked it. It's the same thing. If you have value, you can repost that content. People stress over this thing, but it's easier than ever using the free tools, and then you want to utilize folks that know what they're doing. I had somebody that I was paying that was in my office that I had to teach her some things about how to use social media because I had more experience, but she's, going to that like millennial thing. And I dislike when folks are like, oh, millennials, and they know, because she knows what she knows and I know what I know, and everybody can bring value to the table. And once we were talking to each other in a constructive way, she was able to, because she was like about like posting on a daily basis. And I was like, that you can automate that, right? And she was like, no, I don't think. I was like, yeah, you can. So, she was on the ball with like, the, throwback and Monday motivation and hashtags, which, it's not that I don't know, but she was putting it into action and doing it, right?
It's second nature. It's second nature to them.
Right. So I was like, you can automate that. And then she was like, once I pushed her, like, you need to automate it. I'm paying you. You need to automate it. Then she got on it, and then all of a sudden, this is great.
Yep.
And so it's the melding of, so your product, what you're doing, definitely different things, and it's about creating the partnerships. I love the fact that you talk about listening, because as much as I'm saying people need to hear you, by being on these platforms, it gives you more of an opportunity to listen and see people and see what they need. I loved going back to your earlier comment, and the extreme value, the idea of somebody asks a question that you're writing that down and tracking that and using that to provide more content is amazing. So
right. And I did
this time. I'm going to let you close it out. I'll let you have the last word.
We keep talking, and it's an hour and a half. So you can actually love to give something away for free to everybody. Please feel free to email me at maggie@masteritmedia.com. I'm happy to send you that free calendar schedule where you can schedule out your social media. visit my website, masteritmedia.com. Please find me you can go to my website and follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. I am trying to build my YouTube following. It is dismally low, so I want to have a huge spike in YouTube following after this, which would be amazing. And make sure that you take some time on Monday at 2:00 to visit my Master It Monday Live, where I talk about different things to help you in your business. They're actually actionable items. If you actually go to my YouTube channel, you can actually see the one that I did recently, which was talking about how to do things with your Google Forms, which is a free service that you can get from Google to collect information like email addresses, phone numbers, do surveys for people. So it's those are the kind of values that I add in these Master It Mondays, and I'm always looking for subjects that you want to learn about. So you can always, again, email me, Maggie@masteritmedia.com, and let me know how I can help you take your business and skyrocket it. And of course, take the commotion out of your promotion. And there's my cheesy sales pitch.
and I just subscribed, Master
Yay!
LLC. So, one of the things that I think, just in talking about, we know how you can help folks, and I appreciate you giving the way for everybody to help themselves by getting in contact with you. But one way that, anybody that's watching, you mentioned that you're having some challenge with getting YouTube viewers. I'm having the same sort of thing. One of the things that one of my strategies that I have in the huge kit of ideas that I need to work on is going to Upwork and Fiverr to get somebody to optimize my YouTube channel. So I'll definitely share that with you. But if anybody who's watching has some great YouTube tips for us, hey, we all need help and we could all use it. Just because we're good at one thing doesn't mean we're good at all things, but we're all working and striving towards it. Maggie, close us out. Say goodbye to everybody and give everybody that email and website one more time.
Maggie Carey. I am at Maggie@masteritmedia.com, and you can find me at masteritmedia.com. And I thank you so much, Cameron. This has been such a joy, and we need to have another one where you do all your findings on your YouTube channel. That would be awesome.
Oh yeah, well, that's definitely coming. Definitely coming. We will do that. All right, and yeah, let's make sure we get on your YouTube channel. We'll do that, right? And we'll do something where we can get together on that. And then I would definitely make the promise right now that we will work on the YouTube channel together, because it's a big deal. For anyone that's watching, this is just another great social media tip. YouTube is the second biggest search engine in the world, right after Google, which is a little scary since Google and YouTube are owned by the same parent company. Alphabet. Yep, very, very crazy, but definitely a place that you want to be on. Thank you so much for doing this, Maggie. Say goodbye to everybody.
Bye, guys. Have a wonderful day, and I look forward to connecting with you.
Hang on, Maggie.